This morning, more than 3/4 of Americans say things in this country are going badly. That's higher than it has been since the early days of the COVID pandemic, according to our new CBS poll. In particular, Americans are reeling from the impact of gun violence in the wake of several deadly mass shootings. For more insight, we're joined by CBS News Elections and Surveys Director Anthony Salvanto, who joins us from New York this morning. Anthony, always good to have you. How do you quantify the emotional toll that these mass shootings are having on kids and their parents?
Good morning, Margaret. It is a measure of how shaken the nation is when you talk to parents and they report that their kids are expressing emotions like not just sadness, but being scared, being nervous when they talk about what happened in Texas. And then you ask parents what their kids are worried about in school, and you get a list that's very reminiscent of things that kids have dealt with for generations, like bullying and social pressures, but worries about gun violence are a majority, and they're not far behind. And so that is a measure of just the emotional toll that all of this has taken on the nation and the nation's kids, Margaret.
And so do they feel powerless, or do people believe they can do something about it?
The good news is people think this is preventable. You get big majorities that say it can be stopped, it can be prevented. And it's not something that we have to accept. Now, there is a quarter who says that unfortunately this may be something that we have to accept in a free society. And I do want to point out some partisan difference here. There is bipartisan view that it can be prevented, but there are 4 in 10 Republicans who do say that it may be something we have to accept. And that partisan difference is going to cut through a lot of this, Margaret. Now, I do want to say that when we ask people why they think that the U.S. has so many unfortunate mass shootings, the availability of guns comes out as a top answer, but not the only answer. People point to things like mental health issues, the influence of violence in the culture. So it is a range, and that is important. But I do want to look at this idea of the availability of guns, because the numbers who say that gun laws should generally become more strict is up in recent weeks. It's up since the tragedy in Buffalo to 60% now. And then when you look again at what people think is causing this and what might be a way forward, well, the number who think that the U.S. would be safer if fewer people had guns, it does outweigh the number who say that they think things would be safer if everyone or more people had guns. But this is a mix, and it comes back to this larger idea that to solve a problem and prevent a problem, you first have to come to agreement on its causes. Margaret.
So Congress is debating some specific proposals. What are the policies that people favor?
So you do see big majorities in favor of things like background checks on potential gun buyers. Federal red flag laws get 3/4 majority support. A smaller majority, but a majority, a nationwide ban on semi-automatic weapons. But here, Margaret, I want to show you the way the partisan breaks fall on this. For measures that would generally address people, background checks, federal red flag laws, you see more bipartisan support. But when you get to measures that address specifically guns, then partisan support breaks and you see smaller numbers among Republicans. So it's that difference that's important to understand. Measures that address people versus measures that address guns specifically. And so, in all, there is not a wide public view that it's likely Congress will do something. Maybe they will surprise the public here. But what we do see across the data is that many people feel that something can be done, that a lot of things would help, even if there's not only one solution. Margaret.
Anthony Salvanto, thank you.